Welcome everyone to the 14th classical game of the World Championship match 2023. The score is six and a half each, and so this game was very exciting from the perspective that whoever won it would become the world champion. Now, there's a lot to be said about Ding trying to push here because he was white, but also we have seen in the past, most notably Vishy Anand versus Topalo match, where Topalo had the white pieces and he overpressed in the last game, lost the world title. So Ding had to be careful in that respect. Before we go to the game, let me just show you a few pictures here. There you can see Ding and Nepo shaking hands with each other before the game. Very intense. And then we have Ding, very like completely in the game. Maybe not too happy with his position. We also have Ding here sitting against an empty chair. Something to be said about this chair. It is what Nepo got with him from wherever he came, I guess Russia. He got this chair with him, and it is very similar to what Fischer had in 1972 match. So you know that you have to sit for hours, and Nepo wanted it according to how he would use it, how what is comfortable to him. Maybe he practiced on it for many days and then he was comfortable with it. There you can see Nepo just completely relaxed in his chair there. And let's go to the game now. But before we go to the game, I wanted to just show you a small thing which could be very useful for everyone who is wanting to improve their chess, and that is this website chessranga.com, which is built by ChessBase India, and it has all the world championship matches games that are put in. Until now it's game 13. I will also be putting in game 14 in a bit here, and you can click anywhere and you can get a position to solve what is the best move here. You get feedback for those moves. If you click on this video button, then the lesson starts,
The
and
World
inside the
Championship
lesson you will
2020
also have
what
it
should
in the
white play
interactive
here? And this is
format.
a very
So let's
important
say this is
moment
the first
actually.
position here, it comes up, and then you can make a move, and then nicely, you'll get the feedback and so on. So this is how Chessranga is, and if you enjoy it, if you want to get better, maybe you can go there. I'll put the link in the description, and you can actually sign up there. It's completely free and you can make use of this. We want to provide very good interactive content because chess is improved only when you put your mind to it, and all 14 games are there. You can play through it and it would be very useful for you. Okay, let's begin with the game. It was the last game of the match, the classical game. In case of a draw, we would go to the tie break, rapid tie breaks. D4 by Ding, as always. He's used this as his main weapon. Knight f6, c4, e6, and he played knight c3, allowing the Nimzo Indian. We had seen the Nimzo Indian before, and in that game we had seen a3, takes d6, knight e2. If you remember, there was the very famous move rook a2 that happened here, and Ding had um, it was an exciting game. That's what I can say. But bishop d2 is a very solid move, but it's becoming very popular recently. Just put your bishop on d2. D5 is the most logical, and now A3 was played. I think more popular than A3 is to put your knight out on F3, but he goes A3. He wants to clarify. Nepo goes back, knight to F3, and now C5 was played. Ding took, bishop c5, and for the next move he thought for a full 13 minutes. I guess he was just trying to recollect his analysis here, and played queen c2, but Nepo responded instantly in 29 seconds with d takes c4, which just shows the level of prep that Nepo has come with in this tournament. Also, the thing is that this position has been reached only in 3 games before. One of the top games is Donchenko versus Wojtaszek, but apart from that, not in any Grandmaster games. And Nepo still knowing what to do is amazing. He was asked a question that how did he play it so fast, and he said that he knew that knight c6 rook d1 is not so good, and so he quickly played this. uh, Bishop takes, knight takes, rook d1, and now Nepo made this slightly inaccurate move, bishop e7. I can understand because the most natural move is b6, but I think he was afraid of the fact that knight e4 would be very strong. And you don't want to give up your bishop here on c5. So anyway, if you have to go back there, then suddenly this becomes very aggressive. You know, your threat is to maybe take here, queen is attacking here, bishop can pop out to attack this square. So knight e4 was possible, uh, but I mean b6 was possible, but to knight e4 you have to go bishop b7 and give up your bishop pair. And black is doing fine here. But that's why Nepo went directly bishop e7, and here Ding could have played the move e4, and he was, maybe it's a very pleasant small little edge here for him. But Ding got attracted to a very interesting idea and he went knight g5. And from here, as Ding mentioned, this was very exciting for him because uh, he thought he could, it could be a decisive game. So now h6 was played by Nepo. For Nepo, it was like, I have made no mistakes. Why should white be able to attack me in this way? Premature attack. It just also shows the clash of styles, right? And in fact, Nepo's understanding was better. If Ding plays knight e4, then already he's going back on what his idea was, which is not so great because b6 and black is doing very well. So h4 was played here. And the knight is very well positioned there because you can never take it. If you take the h file opens up along with the queen, so you cannot do it. But queen c7 was played, and in fact this was one of my questions. I just forgot to ask you, what should black do here? I really like this move, queen c7, that Nepo played, because it's a brilliant move. The point is that if you play a move like b6, then after knight ce4, the game is over. In fact, it's just lost for black. Bishop b7, I take, knight takes, and bishop c3 with the threat of taking on f6 and oops, sorry, yeah, and queen h7 mate. So that's the idea. Queen c7 is such a cool move because now you are looking here, and even if the bishop moves, now there's no knight c4 followed by bishop c3. Also, you come out of the d file, which is a pin. Bishop b3, let's imagine here queen c6 is a great move for black. Let's say you play b6. What should white play here? Your question. Yeah, the move here is knight to d5. Brilliant move. And I attack the queen and the bishop. You can't take with the knight because it's a mate. You can't take with the pawn because the queen is hanging. And so this is winning position for white. Take here, check, and then bishop c2. Okay, so there are all these tricks, but Ding decided to play bishop e2. He played this very solidly, maybe to queen c6. He was ready to play bishop f3. And here Nepo should have been a little brave and played b6. Because now there's no knight d5. The queen is hanging on c2. It's not defended by the bishop. And next move, if you can get bishop b7, you are doing really well. But, he wanted to be ultra solid. And so he went after rook d8, rook c1, knight f8. Again, if b6, then knight d5 is strong. Now the queen is defended. So knight f8, and now once the h7 square is guarded, there are no tactical problems to be faced. So very good play by Nepo in general, but Ding is now doing fine. He came back, took on e4. Queen e4 was perhaps good, but he took knight e4. There was also another little move, knight d5, which could have been considered after take, king h8 here. But then there is rook d2, maybe takes, knight takes, king takes, and bishop d7, and the knight could get trapped on e7. So not really a great move here, knight d5, but knight e4, takes, And we reach this position where if someone is better, it has to be black. White has nothing much going his way. The attack didn't work out, and I think a draw was looking very likely. But suddenly, Ding goes bishop b4, and out of the blue, like this move just gives him a strategically bad position. He should have maybe tried rook c7, but after rook b8, maybe he didn't like his position overall. But bishop b4 means that now after this, the double pawns are weak and the bishop sits on c6. So again, white should have gone bishop f3. The position is slightly worse for him, but he goes knight c5, giving up a free pawn, which Nepo captures it. Rook g1, and now there was a very nice line which would have given Nepo an advantage, which is bishop c6 back, b5. Now coming here, e4, and now find the move for black to play. Yeah, the move here is b6, and after this black would have had a big advantage. Rook takes ed, knight e6 coming, your pawn up, and I think Nepo would have had great chances. But bishop d5 played, e4, bishop c6, b5, and this allowed Ding to fight back a bit. Knight b7, rook d4, and he found another good move, rook c4, offering a trade. Rook went back. The knight could go to a5. Knight g6, black is still better here, but knight c5 played, and now rook d6 was perhaps a better idea, but he went rook c7. Now Ding's next move was great, rook c3 back, rook here, and here he had to find a good defensive move. Not easy at all. He played the move b4, but better was this move knight b7. If he had found, would have been epic. Main point is that you get to the d6 square after this here, d6, and white is having great compensation here. So b4, knight d7, and now rook g3. What was interesting is that Nepo in just 2.5 minutes took on c5. He actually had an option to play g6, and black is fine here. I mean, at least pressing h5, knight c5, take, 2 pawns up. Okay, pawn up, but definitely this pawn is weak. And okay, this is not so clear. G6 is also a bit weak, but the way he played it, knight c5, bc, rook c5, rook g7, king f8, bishop d3, rook d8, and now it was, let's say, roundabout even, but the next move that Ding played turned out to be a big error, and it was very unexpected. What would you... Okay, here maybe I'll show you the move, but the best move was king d2. Very tough to play this. The main point is that now you are stopping rook from coming to c3, and also bishop takes b5, which looks the most dangerous, doesn't work because of check here, and I take on d8. And let's say take, check, rook here, and this is a draw. This position, I mean, it's good drawing chances. So king e2 turned out to be an error. What should black play here? Black finds the very good move rook c3. Idea is to take this. The bishop can't move back. b5 is hanging, and so Ding had to give a check, king here, and played rook g3. And now your question again, what would you play here as black to play? Nepo made a big error here. He underestimated Ding's defensive possibilities, and he thought, let me improve my position a bit, and he played the move e5, which turned into a big mistake. He should have played rook to b3, and if he had played this, b5 is hanging, and maybe we would have had a new world champion, very likely. Let's say rook h4, rook h8. I can come in with the rook. Taking might be a bit soon, because then again we reach the same drawn position. But rook d4, and then I have b5 hanging, and many things. You just have come out of the pin here. But e5 played, and now it's your move as white, as Ding. What do you do? Only move. Yes, Ding finds rook h8. Brilliant move. And I think one of the ideas of e5 for Nepo was that, oh, if you attack my this pawn, I will defend it with rook d6. So once again, a question to you. What do you play here as white to play? Yeah, Ding once again finds an amazing move. He plays the move p6. Very cool. Very cool. If you found this, this was the key move of the game. And after this, the draw is within grasp. Rook b6, rook e8, king e8, check, and you. This is where we reach pawn down, rook endgame, but clearly great drawing chances for white. There was one variation which I had to show, that after rook h8, if black went rook b3, this is what Nepo missed, I think, and very cool move, rook g8. And you are giving up the bishop, but after rook e8, it's a draw. Take, 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 and this is a drawn endgame. And if you played the other rook, then also this is a fine position for white. So after rook d6, b6 takes, and with this Ding came back, rook f3, king e7. And I think Nepo pushed in the best possible way. He had chances. He first gave a check, put his rook behind the ahead of the pawn, king g3. Maybe h5 was more accurate, but he played king g3. h5, good move by black. Rook a8, rook a1, and now the pawn is pushed all the way to a3. It's very important not to push the pawn to a2, because look, if you push the pawn to a2 here, it's already a drawn position. This is where a very interesting thing I tried to work out. Let's say, for example, a3, king g2, a2. This is a drawn position. If white plays this just with a check, 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 he can keep checking. Like I can just show you here, check, king here, check, king here, check, king here. You can wait. King comes here, I'll give a check, king d3, king f3, important move. King here, I don't know, just wait, king here, wait, maybe king f1. You could also go king g2, but king f1, and now king g3, and it's a draw. Now in the same position, imagine if white played the move f3, then this, according to me, would be a lost endgame. For example, king f8, check, king here, check, king here. And in the same position, I thought this is winning, but actually this looks like a draw, because king here, there is rook f6 check. And if I go here, rook takes a2, check, take, take. The only move to draw here is the brilliant move king here, because if you went king f2, then I would go king d3 and I would slowly win this position. Sorry, king e2. But there is this brilliant move king h2, and somehow this ends in a draw. King e2, king g2, king e3. It's distant opposition played here. So yeah, perhaps even f3 would have been okay for a draw. Yeah, there. Very interesting. Rook here in the game, it continued that Nepo wanted to keep the pawn on a3 so that the king retains an option at some point to come here. But that also allows white to take the pawn on f6 whenever the king tries to run. So here, by the way, here taking would be a blunder because of a2. And if you come back, there's a check. So Ding played king e2, now threatening to take. Nepo came up. And here maybe he should have gone for this line. King d7, rook f6, rook b1, and king c7. And now your question here, what would you play here as white? White to play. It's very similar to what happened in the game. We'll come there. But yes, the move is f4 and you create a passer. So the same way in the game happened. They waited for a bit. Nepo was trying to see if Ding can go lower on time, but Ding started to play very fast. Some point here, checking here, and yeah, this is the move. White to play. What do you do? If you wait, then black's idea is to come this way and then queen the pawn. So you need to create counterplay, and f4 is the way. If you found this, you are now holding the game. And this was done quite well. I mean, Ding had no problems. He just waited. And yeah, I mean, even if you take here, this is a draw. So he waited, waited, waited. And then he cut the king off this way. Finally, Nepo did win both the pawns. He has two pawns, but white also won it back, and they agreed to a draw. So very, very big fight here by both these players, and it was a great one. We now are moving into the final day today, which is the tie breaks, the rapid tie breaks, and let me show you the rules surrounding it so that you know, because the score, the classical format has ended with a 7-7 score, and so the only way in to find the winner is that we go into a tie breaks where we'll see who triumphs. Let's first have a look at who got the white pieces. The white pieces went to Ding for game 1. There are going to be 4 games of 25 plus 10. So game 2 will be Nepo who will have the white pieces. Here are the rules of the tie break. 4 games of 25 plus 10. If the score player plays anyone scores 2.5, they are the champion. If it's 2-2, we go to 2 games of 5 plus 2, 5 plus 3. If it's also a draw, then we go another 2 games of 5 plus 3. If that's also 1-1, then we go to single game of 3 plus 2. And actually, theoretically, this game can go on forever. There's no Armageddon. 3 plus 2, they keep playing. Whoever wins the first game is becomes the champion. We don't know how long this will last, but it's going to be fun. Tune into ChessBase India to follow it at 2:30 p.m. local time. For now, this is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye bye.